da Fábrica do Futuro e também da organização dos Besouros, da produção. A gente está muito feliz de ter vocês aqui hoje, muito feliz com esse dia, né? Vou mediar hoje essa conversa. A gente vai ter um papo inicial com algumas pessoas aqui no palco e depois a gente vai abrir para perguntas. Provavelmente a Andréia, que estava aqui abrindo a porta, vai estar com o microfone, então é só fazer sinal para ela que ela vai meio que controlar a ordem para vocês participarem, tá bom? Então vamos lá, né, gente? Chamando agora aqui no palco para a gente se organizar antes de receber o nosso convidado especialíssimo. Eu vou chamar o Nelson e os outros integrantes dos Besouros que vão querer participar com a gente aqui. E também o Ricardo Pugialli está acompanhando a turma. Por favor, gente. And now, our special guest, Mr. Pete Best. This one.
This one?
So, Pete.
Yes.
Let's talk about the greatest Liverpool band of all time, Gary and the Pacemakers.
Oh, Pete Best Band.
It's very, very nice to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hope we have some fun this afternoon.
Oh, I'm certain I will. I'm certain I will after last night, yeah.
Pete, I want to hear you about the music scene in the city from the end of the 50s and the start of the 60s. The transformation of the sound from the skiffle to the rock and roll bands. What do you remember from that time?
Ooh. Growing up very quickly. In Liverpool, you had to. It was one of those times when I think, because of Liverpool, no one had an awful lot of money. So when skiffle came along, before electrified guitars, people ran out and got guitars and washboards and tea-chest basses. And the music started, and kids started playing skiffle. Then when electric guitars came along, they migrated from acoustic guitars to electric guitars, amplifiers, drums, and all of a sudden, rock and roll was invented. And, you know, it's been there in different shapes and forms for the last 60 odd years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamburg was a very, very important place in the development of the Beatles as a band, as performers. What do you see as the most important thing that happened there?
He said that without me even moving my lips, right? But it's so true, it is, yeah. Most important thing was the red light district. That's what he meant to say. Yeah. But apart from that, that was number one. No. Where do we go? Most important thing that was, I think when we got the recording contract with Kemford, with Polydor, and it was this humble Liverpool band which had taken Liverpool by storm. We're playing at the top 10 club. Our second stint there, and it was very much a case of Peter Echo, who was the manager at the time, basically came round and said, "Good news for you tonight. You know, Bert Kemford, who was the biggest A&R man in Germany at that time, is coming to watch you, not me personally, but the Beatles, and Tony Sheridan. And I will give you the nod when, you know, he comes in so you can put on a little bit of a show for him." So he gave us the nod and we put the show on. And at the end of the night, he came up to us and basically turned around and said, "Yep, I want to sign you. And I'm going to sign the Beatles. And I'm going to sign Tony Sheridan. And also, I want the Beatles to record with Tony Sheridan and Tony Sheridan to record with the Beatles." And as history portrays now, we did that. My Bonnie came out, and that was the start of this wonderful roundabout that we've been on ever since. So that's what was important in Hamburg, really was.
Very good. Well, that's my last question, so I'll share with the...
Okay.
I don't want to share with them, okay? I'll talk to stop it.
Leave them.
There are many stories about your resignation from the band. What's your favorite?
My favourite story about me getting very polite, that resignation from the band. In Liverpool, we would turn around and say, it's getting your ass kicked and told to leave. My favourite story. Most probably the fact, who said that? Well, most probably the fact, and a lot of people don't know this, but it's one of the theories that was put forward, which was a little bit different. Because everyone knows that Brian Epstein was homosexual. Right? And one particular night, he made a pass at me. And I turned around and said, no, Brian, I said, I'm not that way inclined. You know, but thank you for your interest. But, you know, I'm not your boy. And a lot of people have turned around and said that even though Epstein loved you in the band, and he loved the Beatles, because you'd rejected him, he kept that at the back of his mind. And that was possibly one of the reasons when the right time came, along with the others, it was okay. Time for Pete to go. That's what I think, anyway. It's a possibility, but I thought that was the funniest one I've ever heard, anyways.
Ok. Nelsinho, Ricardo, eu queria que vocês falassem um pouquinho sobre como foi o convite de trazer o Pete, né, para Porto Alegre.
Eu conheci o Pete em 2014 em uma Beatles Week qualquer, e fui muitas vezes no Carlsbad, many times no Carlsbad, e o Roag lembra de mim? Claro que não lembra, mas ele disse que lembra. E um dia lá eu convidei ele e disse, ok, vamos falar disso, fala com o Roag, ele é o cara que cuida disso e tal. E aí a gente foi indo, acabou focando mais na nossa ida para a Beatles Week, que a gente foi em 2017. Acabamos deixando outros projetos de lado, depois voltamos, entra a pandemia, sai pandemia, começa Big Fest. E temos o grande responsável aqui, o Pugialli, sem o respaldo do Pugialli, esses caras, Roag e Pete, não estariam aqui hoje, porque eles não nos conheciam, não atravessariam o Atlântico por uns desconhecidos. Se não fosse o Pugialli que respaldou, ele disse, não, pode ir, não é fria, eles não vão nos botar em fria, vai dar tudo certo, vão tratar vocês bem. E enfim, o Pugialli foi fundamental para que hoje a gente possa ter um Beatle na nossa cidade. Senão, certamente, só eu ligando, por mais que eu tivesse o contato, ele não viria. E assim foi esse namoro que começou em 2014. Domingo, nós já casamos, já assinamos o ciclo agora. Domingo vai ser o religioso.
Num templo, que é o Teatro São
Templo
Pedro.
do Rock. Não seria a primeira vez que alguém casa lá?
Não sei, vamos perguntar pro pessoal.
Bom, foi. Alô?
Foi.
Quem entrou na fria fui eu, né? Mas tudo bem. Não, tô brincando. Olha só, obviamente o Nelson, eu já conheço o Nelson desde 2011, minha primeira vez aqui, depois de 2013. E eu conheci o Pete e o Roag no Paraguai em 2019, em novembro. Eles foram convidados para conhecer o Museu de Instrumentos lá, que eu era me considero ainda amigo do criador, só que ele faleceu, mas eu continuo amigo dele e vou continuar sempre. E ele falou, Ricardo, o Pete está dando, vem com eles, seja o host deles, né? Fique com eles. E aí eu travei uma boa amizade com o Pete e com o Roag. Nós ficamos juntos quase que 5 dias direto, no mesmo hotel, conversando, tomando água, tomando chá. Né? Cerveja.
Olha, ontem a gente tomou outra coisa.
Nós ontem bebemos, foi limonada.
Isso.
Né? Então, não, agora sério. Então, eu pude fazer várias perguntas para o Pete, que às vezes tem pessoas que são perguntas que seriam embaraçosas, mas eu estava com uma certa facilidade. Conversamos, perguntei o que eu queria perguntar, ele respondeu o que ele quis responder, a gente conversou, ficamos amigos. E aí, o Nelson virou para mim, no comecinho desse ano, poxa, será que reatamos o nosso contato? A gente estava sem se falar faz um tempo, né? Só que com amigos não existe tempo, né? Você está sempre junto com eles, né? E aí o Nelson chegou e falou que a gente estava com a ideia de trazer o Pete para tocar com os Besouros. Você consegue? Bom, o que acontece? Sim, eu vou entrar em contato com eles, vou falar e vou explicar tudo. E aí, antes até de eu falar quem era Nelson e os Besouros, eu falei, isso aí não é jogar confete em vocês, não. Mas, no Brasil, o melhor público que eu já vi para lançar um livro, para conversar, para fazer alguma coisa, foi aqui em Porto Alegre. Essa é a verdade, eu falo isso. Falei para eles, falei, olha, é o melhor público que eu já tive, muito melhor que no Rio de Janeiro, muito melhor que São Paulo. Eu não estou ofendendo ninguém lá, é porque vocês têm uma paixão muito maior, bem parecida com a que eu encontrei no Paraguai. Eu morei no Paraguai um tempo, ou seja, eu pude ver que vocês têm uma semelhança muito grande, até porque geograficamente estão perto. Aí o que acontece? Eu expliquei para eles tudo e falei, ó, tem a banda, eu conheço a banda, conheço, assim, tocaram na Beatles Week, tocaram no Cavern Club várias vezes e tal. E aí, falei, o que vocês precisam? O Roag me disse, a gente precisa disso. Passei para o Nelson, assim, beleza, e aí a gente começou, né? Todos os acertos para que isso realmente acontecesse. E cá estamos. Né? Amanhã vocês vão ter um show num lugar super charmoso, eu estou lindo o teatro. Vocês vão ter um Pete que está bem animado por ter voltado aqui. E estamos com o teatro cheio, e é isso.
Vamos então abrir...
Deixa eu só... o Rochedo chegou agora, nosso drummer. Por favor.
Tudo bom?
Alô.
Vamos abrir então para perguntas. Vocês podem procurar pela Andréia, que está com o microfone. Quem quiser fazer uma pergunta, pode pedir por aí para ela. Tá todo mundo com vergonha, é isso?
Eu posso fazer uma colocação?
Por favor.
Eu tenho uma pergunta.
Não é uma pergunta, é só uma colocação, né? Que no meio musical, eu já conheci dois ali na frente, ali no... Cadê eles ali? Então ali, o piloto já viu algum, esqueci dos nomes, né? Mas é muito comum a gente comentar assim, né? O fulano tocou com tal banda, acompanhou tal artista, né? E assim se reúnem as bandas, se reúnem os músicos, né? Nós mesmos, quando iniciamos o projeto em 2010, final de 2010 ou início de 2011, se eu não me engano, já havia esse clima, assim. O nosso guitarrista tocava com o Frank Jorge aqui, que é conhecido na cena. Eu e o Rochedo, a gente acompanhou muitos artistas lá na nossa terra, em Pelotas, né? E nessa carreira toda, nós, como nossos dois guitarristas, um acompanha o Nenhum de Nós, um é do Nenhum de Nós, outro acompanha o Beto Gessinger, né? São grandes músicos. Nós, eu e o Rochedo aqui, num escalão mais abaixo, que já acompanhamos vários artistas também, grandes, né? Então sempre tem aquela...
Eu acompanho vocês.
O Nelson está se fazendo, né? Ele acompanha vários, ele já gravou disco aí com o Cidadão Kane e tal, produziu o Graforrest Harmonics de Cidadão Kane há um tempo atrás, Lulu Santos e tal. Mas então quando chega um músico, além de falar de Beatles, né? A gente está falando de um artista da cena europeia lá, inglês, gravou alguns discos que, tomara que não tenha ganhado, né? Caiu no chão ali, e inclusive gravou com os Beatles, né? Então, claro que isso aí é como eu ter acompanhado, como nosso guitarrista que acompanhou o Humberto Gessinger, é algo grandioso assim na carreira. Mas acima de tudo, além disso, né, é um grande artista que está vindo nos acompanhar aqui, nos dando essa oportunidade, que para nós é algo que nós jamais vamos deixar de falar, né? Não é nem sequer esquecer, né? Nós vamos falar isso constantemente para as pessoas quando vierem entender o que significa, né, essa situação, porque a gente está aqui em Porto Alegre, a gente não está no mainstream, a gente não circula o Brasil inteiro, por mais que nós já tenhamos feito turnê na Europa, a gente fez shows em Liverpool,
BH, São Paulo.
No Brasil nós tocamos bastante, né? Mas nessa ocasião é um marco, né, na banda, mas é também um marco para a cidade, assim, né, porque ele não está vindo acompanhar assim, o Humberto Gessinger ou algum artista grande renomado, né? Ele está vindo acompanhar uma banda de Beatles, assim. E acima, além dele ter tocado com os Beatles, assim, é um artista que, com sucesso, né, na sua carreira, está vindo aqui nos abrilhantar, né, nos emprestar um pouco da luz desse cara. Né?
Tu tinha uma pergunta, né, Nelson?
Yeah.
You're not understanding anything?
No.
You want me to translate to you?
No, it's fine. I'm just sitting there. Go, you guys go ahead. I'm just, I'm just chilling.
I'm just chilling.
I have a question for my new barber. Yeah.
Pardon?
I have a question for my new barber.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think that everybody wants to know this, and I don't have courage to ask. And I need to know this. How do you prefer your omelette?
How do I prefer my omelette? With tomato ketchup.
Thank you.
Scrambled eggs.
Thank you.
Temos?
I
Por
love your
favor.
legs. Oh
We
my
have
baby,
a
how I
question from
love
the audience.
your legs.
Welcome, Mr. Pete Best.
Thank you.
My name is Sergio. It's a pleasure and a privilege to see you in person. Okay, I've been in Liverpool many times, and I have a question for you. Of course, you know that the cavern was demolished in 1973. What can you tell me what happened behind the curtains? These guys, in my opinion, it was the British Rail that was responsible for the demolition of the area. Do you know anything behind the curtains that no complaints, they simply put the ball down and they finished the club?
It was, well, from what we know, along with others, it happened so suddenly. And there was a lot of, when it was announced, there was a lot of reaction from people in Liverpool. They barricaded the cavern to try and get it stopped it from being knocked down and flattened. But to no avail, the council had apparently made their mind up that they were going to flatten the cavern and make way for either an underground or a railway system or something like that. It happened that long ago. It never came to true significance. And what was the amazing thing about it was they knocked it down and nothing ever happened. So it was only when it was rebuilt again that the cavern came to prominence again. But the reason for it being knocked down in the first place still never makes sense and never will. But it's a typical Liverpool council decision.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I'm sure it was a great mistake. Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, I agree.
Alguém? Mais perguntas? Ali.
Uma colinha. Esqueci, eu te emociono. Nice to meet you, Mr. Peter Best.
Oh, call me Pete. Call me Pete. I get worried when people say Mr. Peter Best.
My name is Claudio Quevedo.
Pleased to meet you.
I have a question for you. Why did you choose to be a drummer?
Why did I choose to be a drummer? My God. Ask every drummer who actually became drummers, why did you become a drummer? Because I started off playing guitar, like most kids in Liverpool. And I found that I wasn't happy with it. I didn't feel comfortable with the guitar stuck under my arm. And I was always, banging my fingers and, knocking on the tables. I still do it now. If there's a saucepan there or a teapot, I'll knock, rhythms out on it with a teaspoon, because I haven't got my drum kit there. And it was because of that, and the fact that a friend of mine wanted to start a band, and even though I didn't have a drum kit, he turned around and said I was going to be the drummer. So that's how I ended up being a drummer. I eventually got a drum kit. My mother and father bought me a wonderful sky blue Premier drum kit, which I think a lot of people have seen in many, many photographs. A lot of people think it was white because of the black and white photographs, but it wasn't. It was sky blue oyster. And so I changed to Ludwig and a lot of other kits. That was the kit I played on and recorded on and holds a lot of dear memories for me. But of course, I think I've always made it quite clear that when I started drumming, one of my biggest influences was Gene Krupa. And he was a famous jazz band, big band drummer, very powerful, very powerhouse. And I wanted to be like him. So that was why I suppose you could turn around and say my drumming style. It got the nickname in Liverpool of the Atom Beat because it was a very powerful beat, but I stole that one from Gene Krupa. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
And I think he's a drummer 24 hours per day. Every time, todo o time.
Alguém? Mais perguntas?
Don't be frightened.
Yeah. Não tenho medo aí. Segue.
Hello. How do you feel when you recorded my band and they say to you, no bass drum?
Say that again, I missed it. Go on. Could you repeat the question again?
How do you feel when you recorded my band in the auditorium in Hamburg and they say to you, no bass drum?
Oh, yeah. It was one of those things that, because of the fierce backbeat I had, on the kick drum, it caused a lot of problems with recording companies and, studios and, people who initially recorded. So even though there was some takes which were made using the kick drum, it overpowered what was going on. But the rest of it, the recording could, I suppose you'd turn around and see equipment couldn't handle it in those days. And because of that, I had to play my body just on cymbals and snare drum, basically, without the kick drum. But even though I recorded it that way, it was still a damn good rock and roll, so, it still holds up in the test of time, even without a kick drum. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Próximo. Gente, vocês estão muito tímidos.
Olá. Posso perguntar em português?
Pode. E aí, tudo bem, Marcelo?
Tudo bem.
Tudo bem?
Nice to meet you. Queria perguntar, os artistas que o Mr. Pete escuta atualmente, anos 80, anos 90, os bateristas também que ele admira, enfim, os músicos mais contemporâneos, né, após anos 60, anos 70, que ele admira e que escuta, enfim. Muito obrigado.
He wants to know what are you listening to, what the artists that you like and that inspire you. And the drummers too, but not only the drummers, the bands and the other artists.
Oh, my musical taste is so wide and varied. It goes from big bands to jazz to Latin American to, rock and roll, blues, you name it. If it's good and I like it, I'll listen to it. If I don't like it, it doesn't get played. It's as simple as that. And there's that many. I'm still loyal to the bands in Liverpool as well because, without those, the bands that were there initially, and also the bands, the younger bands which follow and they're still following because Liverpool's still a hotbed music scene.
It's amazing city. It's an amazing city.
It is, it's, the Beatles passed the legacy on. We had a musical heritage, but that legacy's been passed on, to a lot of the young musicians in Liverpool. And, bands I listen to, oh my goodness me, ranges from U2 to Vincent, from Rachmaninoff classical to local bands like Blair. It goes on and on. If I sat down and most probably turned down and said, give me the best band that, out of each musical section, I couldn't do it. There's so many that are up there. And I have so many favourites, and as I turned around and said, the guiding factor is, if it's good, I'll listen. If it isn't, I won't. It's as simple as that. Okay?
Próxima.
Hello, that's me. Hello, Nelson, and everybody there. Hello, my name is Jovan. Hello, Pete. Hello. I'm this shiny bald head over here. I am the owner of a YouTube channel called the Beatles School, and we have like 50,000 people there. And they asked me to say hi to you, so hi, Pete. And I was also in charge of bringing tuning from Mark Lewis to Portuguese. I was part of the team. So I would like to know if you're happy with the way that Mark Lewison portrayed you and your family and all the history behind you and when you left the band. And thank you for coming to our country. We are very happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Okay, made a lot of friends, and it's always nice coming back to see them. Mark Lewison's portrayal of me and the family after my dismissal, I think it was basically, it was the story which he managed to find out, if you could put it that way. Okay. It's supposed to be the definitive story. I've looked at it, yes, he's done a lot of research, and he's correcting a lot of the stuff which he's found out, which hasn't caused the family any pain, never will, because we're a very proud family and very proud of our heritage, whether it be Irish, whether it be Indian, whether it be Anglo-Saxon, whatever the case might be. So the things which I've looked at, I haven't made a study of them. A lot of people were shocked by, the first revelation, like that Johnny Best was my actual dad, and it was, no, he wasn't. He was my stepfather. Okay, my first father was Irish, and he got killed during the war. That's, nothing to hide from. I'm just proud of my Irish ancestry, but it's some of the things, they were revealed for the first time, and I suppose that was the difference. It had never been mentioned before. We'd never found any need to mention it before. Even with the Neil Aspinall and my mother and all the other bits and pieces. Okay, fine. We're the best family. We're proud of it. Yes, we have history and roots which intertwine. They most probably will, because that's the type of family we are, and we always will be. But we're proud of it. So no matter what people put into print, whether it be infamous, or not quite what we like, it doesn't bother us. So that's the way we look at it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you.
Próximo.
Tem uma pergunta do Lúcio Brancato, que está
Lúcio!
assistindo online.
He's a friend of ours, but he's sick. He's with COVID. But he sent a question for you.
A gente sabe que nunca teve contato com os outros Beatles depois, mas ele chegou a assistir algum show do Paul solo em Liverpool?
We know.
Oh, I don't know. This is rocket science here. Come on, something's going on. What?
I managed to translate to you. We know that you haven't met anyone from the band after you got out, but he wants to know if you have seen some show from Paul or Ringo or George when they've been in Liverpool.
No.
No.
Simply because of the fact it sounds as though it's one of those ones where it's like, oh, Paul's in town, Pete's not going to see it because of what happened. Right? I have a band which tours the world, right? So there's many times. Not so much Ringo, because he's only made one appearance in Liverpool since the dismissal, I think, which was, 2000. I think he brought New Year in 2000 or something like that. But Paul's been back many times. But it's always happened. And some people turn around and say, oh, you planned it. It isn't. It's total coincidence. He's playing in Liverpool, I'm playing in America. You know, he's playing in America, I'm playing in Liverpool. So our paths, you know, even though they might be getting closer, and one day they might cross, at the present moment they haven't. But it hasn't been a case of, you know, ignoring him or staying away from his shows on purpose. It's just I've never been available to go much. Simple as.
Tudo bem? Posso explorar seu conhecimento de inglês e pedir para que você faça a tradução? Porque o meu inglês é igual a minha relação com a minha mulher. Eu compreendo, mas não domino.
O Edu foi o cara que foi o primeiro cara a trazer o Pete pro Brasil. Né?
Não sei. Eu queria fazer duas perguntas, aproveitar e explorar. Primeiro, que eu acho que tem muito a ver com o Brasil, que é a relação da cidade de Liverpool com a cultura, porque nós temos as nossas cidades muito ligadas às culturas e que a gente sabe, quero saber se ele concorda que nos últimos 20 anos a cidade de Liverpool teve uma revolução cultural, turística, gigantesca. Muito se deve aos Beatles e a presença dele na cidade que ajudou muito. A segunda pergunta...
Acho que vamos com essa, depois você faz a outra. Só
aguardarei.
Porque agora tem toda uma construção aqui, né, gente? Eu me viro, mas eu não sou tradutor. He wants to know if you agree that from the last 20 years, Liverpool have passed from a big transformation, cultural transformation, mostly because the Beatles and because that you live in the city. So you agree with this? Do you see this big transformation, cultural transformation in the city?
Yeah, very much so. To be quite honest, Liverpool was very slow in developing the cultural side of it, but when the penny actually dropped, and people suddenly realised, you know, there is a heritage and Liverpool has a culture which needs to be developed. In fact, it's a little bit longer. I mean, the gentleman mentioned 20 years. I think it's possibly been a little bit longer than that. But it's evolved and it is still evolving. And that's the beauty of it. If you'd come to Liverpool 20 years ago and you come to Liverpool now, it's totally different. And if you came back in 20 years' time, it would be totally different because we are now in the essence and the people have got their act together at last to actually develop Liverpool and promote Liverpool and develop the culture along with music, you know, sport, all the cultures that are there. They're now developing them, and it's only good for the city and the rest of the world when they visit Liverpool as well.
It's the nicest city in UK, I know that.
Thank you.
Edu.
A segunda pergunta está ligada também à questão da revolução, porque a família Best, nos últimos... Cadê o Roag?
Roag.
Nos últimos meses, a gente vem acompanhando o envolvimento dos Bests no Casbah, transformando o Casbah num hotel, um lugar icônico, extremamente importante para a história dos Beatles, tão quanto o Cavern Club, se transformando num hotel, o local onde eles moravam. Eu gostaria de registrar e agradecer a presença de Roag Best, para que eu peço uma salva de palmas. Porque eu tenho certeza que se Pete Best está aqui, a gente deve a ele, porque ele que bota gás no irmão, porque o irmão já não está com idade de ficar sentado em bateria tocando há muito tempo. Então, o Roag é fera. Então, eu queria saber do investimento, da visão, do dinheiro, de quanto será inaugurado, quantos quartos. Talvez até o Roag consiga responder melhor do que o homem do dinheiro é ele. Tá bom?
Eu estou sabendo disso.
This question is for you, but is for Roag too, because he wants to know about the transformation of the Casbah in a hotel, and wants to know how many rooms and when is going to be able to have visitors and so on.
Okay, even though I can answer this question, right, I'm not going to. And even though Roag and I, it's a dream of ours which we're working on, and it will happen. Even though he doesn't want me to, I'm going to drag him up on stage here now.
If you can answer, please. Oh, good.
I love moments like this.
You love moments like this?
My ego.
Go on.
Very big ego.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my younger brother Roag best.
Hi folks, well, when the pandemic happened and everything...
It's a tone.
When the... Not that heavy, for God's sake, come on. So, we went to Nelson's house last night and he cooked for us. He cooked us this Brazilian grilled food. And,
Churrasco.
yeah, he was a very good cook. No, when the pandemic happened and everything had to stop, not just in Liverpool but everywhere worldwide, and we've been toying with an idea for many years, and that was because above the Casbah Coffee Club, the family home, it's a large Victorian mansion. It's very big rooms, it's a very big house, and we decided, hey, this is the time. We've been talking about it, we've never got time to do it. Now we have got time because the world's been made to stop. So we decided, well, we're not going to stop. Now we're going to convert the house into a hotel. The hotel will be opening in March 2023. It's 6 suites, and each suite is Beatles themed. So there's a Lennon suite, a McCartney suite, a Sutcliffe suite, a Harrison suite. Of course, the best suite in the house
is the best one. Thank you.
Which one? And so it goes.
And then Besouros.
Yeah, the Besouros suite. Yeah. So which is the most popular. So, but that's coming in 2023. So we have the Casbah Coffee Club underneath it, which is where the Beatles truly began.
Yeah.
Even though the cabin became the springboard for the Beatles, it's not where they started. But that's okay. And as many of you know,
where was the first concert of the Beatles?
Casbah Coffee Club.
Oh,
yeah, Casbah Coffee Club. And we also have the Liverpool Beatles Museum in Matthew Street. So if you get to Liverpool, you can stay at our hotel, you can go to the Casbah Coffee Club, you can visit our museum. We're soon going to be starting a taxi service to drive you to these places.
I've got my cab.
So, but if you're in Liverpool, come and see us. That's what we've been doing anyway.
Roag, you have a big archive of memorabilia. This will be exposed at the hotel and the coffee club?
The Casbah, as regards to memorabilia, when people ask what is our favourite piece of memorabilia, well, if it can be classed as memorabilia, it's the Casbah Coffee Club, because without it, nothing else would have happened.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here doing this, the whole thing wouldn't have happened. So that's our favourite piece. The rooms, we're only going to give a little taste. We don't want to go over the top.
Super thematic.
Yeah, a little taste, a little flavour in the rooms. Because if you want to be engrossed in it, the museum's there for that.
Nice, thank you.
Like a Serbian beer or a beer wine. Put it in
the beer.
Serbian beer and Serbian wine in the hotel.
Yeah, in the Besouros suite.
Yeah, good.
Lots of beer.
Thank you.
Próxima.
Não mais.
Não mais? Mais?
Só para ele contar, assim, um panorama da trajetória dele, assim, dos shows marcantes da vida dele, um grande show, e a gente tem vários ruins aqui também, né? Os que são engraçados de contar. Você tem um marcante pro lado negativo e um marcante pro lado positivo.
Tá. He wants to know the best show you ever made and the worst or the funniest.
What, with the Beatles or with any
In your career?
The worst show? Yeah, I suppose the worst show we ever did was with the Beatles. I had to say that, didn't I? And it was Aldershot. We nicknamed it the Aldershot disaster. And you've got to remember that the Beatles had conquered Hamburg, come back, conquered Liverpool, we're now conquering the northwest of England. We were moving up to London, and we were playing at the Ballet Ballroom, or due to play at the Ballet Ballroom. And we got there, and we'd been expected to see queues outside, because everywhere we played there'd be queues and screaming girls, and well, just a fantastic reception, because we were the Beatles. And when we got there, the doors opened, and no one came in. And during the whole night, we had 13 people. Now, normally we've been used to playing to dance halls with about 300 or 400 people, jam-packed solid. This dance hall held about 500 people, and there were 13 people in it. So it ended up that we played on stage, and John and George danced on the floor. So we could most probably turn around and say that was our worst experience playing was. Funniest, oh God. Every night was funny with those guys. I'll leave that one unanswered because I could go on all night about the funny ones. Okay, so it's a few of them have been well chronicled. Come to the show, we'll chat about it afterwards.
And the best one?
The best one? Oh,
tomorrow.
You took the words out of my mouth. No, seriously. Even though I haven't been serious about tomorrow's show, by the way. The best one, I think. I've got to put that down to my own guys, my own band. We played in Japan. And for those of you who don't know, the Japanese audiences are very polite. And the promoter came up and he turned around and said, "You've been used to playing in front of screaming girls and shouting lads, and big, voluptuous audiences making a lot of sound." And he said, "The Japanese," he said, "they're very polite." So he said, "Even though they love you," he said, "they will very politely." So he said, "Be expected, it's nothing different, it's not they haven't gone down well." So he said, "Fine." So we went out, we played, and the first number, the Japanese audience was up in the seats, dancing, screaming, jumping, yelling for more. And the promoter turned around and said, "My God," he said, "I don't know what you've done to them." He said, "But I've never seen that reaction before." So I would most probably turn around and say, that had to be the best one for us.
Yes. Okay. Mais alguma pergunta? Por favor. Acho que daí o microfone. Consegue pra gente? Bem.
Thank you. Hi, Pete.
Hello.
Thank you for being here with us. What was your reaction to the end of the Beatles?
Say that again.
What was your reaction to the end of the Beatles?
Reaction to the end of the Beatles?
Yeah.
Has it finished?
Yeah.
No, I suppose you mean when they actually broke up.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the world, completely shocked. I thought that even though they possibly stopped touring, I didn't think they'd stop recording, because they could still get the work out to the public and the world. But when they actually stopped, full stop, no recording, no public appearances, Beatles, whatever name they give us, there's only a couple of us left now anyway. So whatever mantle we wear, Paul's still performing, Ringo's still doing a bit, I'm still performing. So even though we're not the Beatles, we're still performing. The Beatles are finished, okay, performing, they were finished recording. But the legacy that's been left, that is something which, you know, they may have finished, but they haven't finished. You know, because the world just keeps discovering what they did 60 years ago. And I think they're going to keep on discovering that, you know, over the next, I don't know, legacy which will go on forever. You know, it was a musical phenomenon, and I don't see anyone topping it. And while that phenomenon is still around, you know, the Beatles will still be around, and people will still be talking about them and loving them.
Thank you so much.
Tem mais uma do Lúcio.
Ai, Lúcio.
Por mais que não tenha o reconhecimento dos outros Beatles, ele tem o reconhecimento enorme dos fãs da banda, como parte fundamental, né, dessa história. Se ele tem orgulho disso.
Are you proud from the love that the fans have from you?
I've always been proud of it. It's something which I treasure very dearly, to be quite honest, because without the fans, no matter who you are, you'd be nobody, right? So whether you call them fans, I'd like to call them friends, you know, because, you know, if they support me and they support the family, then they're additions to our family. So our family spreads and it gets bigger and bigger. So whether it's fan-based or not, yeah, the love and adulation they show all over the world. You know, to myself and my family, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Mais alguém? Por favor.
Mais uma pergunta. Queria perguntar para o Pete o que ele tem curtido, gostado da cultura do Brasil, de lugares, enfim, o que ele tem sentido da cultura brasileira e se conheceu alguma coisa da música brasileira, além da banda dos Besouros, né? Se ele está curtindo das...
Temos o Lulu Santos a noite inteira.
Então vamos ver se ele se recorda.
Temos um novo fã de Lulu Santos aí. You've been in Brazil other times. He wants to know what you like most in Brazilian culture and music, and if you have been listening from Brazilian music.
I love the Brazilian music, but unfortunately, because of the, you know, not many big Brazilian stars cross the water to Liverpool anyway. You know, I'm certain in the South America and America, you know, they're more dominant than what they are. I listen to it, but name-wise, you know, even though I'm a big fan of, you know, Latin American music and Brazilian music, you know, whatever genre it might be. Names, don't ask me to mention one because I couldn't.
Never mind.
You know, put my hand up, apart from some guy called Nelson. You know, I think he's up there somewhere, you know, keep listening to him every now and again. But no, it's a lot of respect for it. And a lot of respect for Brazilian culture. The first time I came to Brazil, I was surprised by the warmth of the people, and that is something which I think I've found, no matter where in Brazil I've gone, whether it be on business or whether it be, you know, pleasure-wise or performing or whatever the case might be, it's been the warmth and the passion of the Brazilian people, and I think that, you know, comes across in the culture as well. You have a way of living life which no one else can, you know, and there's times when I think we look at it from Liverpool and go, my God, what a way to live.
Mais alguém?
Tudo bem? Eu sou o Daniel. Eu queria saber se em Hamburgo Eles tinham quartos separados lá, eu tinha que dormir todo mundo amontoado. E sendo assim, quem dormia com quem em Hamburgo?
Quem era o Batman? Quem era o Robin?
Pete and Paul, Pete and John, the bad.
He wants to know how you sleep when you lived in Hamburg. You have private rooms, or everybody slept in the same room, and who slept with who?
Who was the last bit? Go on, what was that? Who was the one? Can't go to the first two. What was the last one? Who was the best one?
Sorry.
What the last one you said?
Who slept with who?
Okay.
Who shared
the bed?
Who shared the bed with you?
I do remember. I do remember.
Okay, let's see. You call it bedrooms. Go back to Hamburg first trip. One back of a Bambino, back of the cinema. Okay. We used to wash in the men's toilets. Sorry. The only room at the back of the cinema that had a light, slept 3 of us. There was a camp bed, a sofa, and a proper bed. And John, George, and Stu slept in that one. Paul and I slept in 2 concrete dungeons, which were further down the hall. So if you call those bedrooms, right, don't kid yourself, okay?
What a great situation, man.
Who we slept with? It was dark, so I couldn't really answer that one.
Everybody knows this.
Well, that's it. Nelson thinks I'm going to say something, but I'm not. Second trip, we stayed at the dormitory on top of the top 10. Tony Sheridan slept up there with us. We all had our own beds, thank God. And that was quite enlightening, right? Quite enlightening, because we used to finish in the club, go and get drunk, go to bed, wake up in the morning, come downstairs and start playing again. So you could basically turn around and say we slept in the club. We slept on top of the club. The third time at the Star Club, when we opened the Star Club, now that's a total different kettle of fish. We had our own apartments. Oh, we slept with many, many, many people. Cats included. And I will leave that to your imagination and close on the subject.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Mais alguém? Acho que a gente pode ir se encaminhando para o final, se alguém mais tiver, assim, última pergunta aqui para a turma do sofá, para a gente já ir caminhando para o final.
Posso fazer a pergunta?
Claro. Sim.
Não tem nada a ver, tá? Pete sempre foi um homem muito bonito. Muito bonito. O charme, mas muito tímido. A pergunta é se essa timidez e a beleza acabaram atrapalhando mais do que ajudando. Certo? Ou se ele queria ganhar, como eu, ganhar a vida, ou ser reconhecido não só pela beleza, mas também pelo talento.
Pela modéstia.
He wants to know, you were always a very handsome man and very shy too. And he wants to know that if you think that being handsome had... Ai, tô faltando uma me ajuda, não atrapalhou.
O que é?
Atrapalhou, não vem a palavra. Não vem a palavra atrapalhar.
Spoil.
Ajuda, Pugialli.
Spoiled. Something.
I don't know. Depends what you call handsome, doesn't it? You know, I'm handsome in someone's eyes, but I'm fucking hell, I'm bloody ugly in others, you know, so it's whatever grabs you. Okay, if I get some fans, I get some fans. If Paul gets some fans, he gets some fans. It's the luck of the draw, basically. you know, but thank you for turning around and saying that I'm handsome, yeah. But I leave that up to people, okay. Whatever they decide, if I'm handsome, I'm handsome, if I'm ugly, I'm ugly. It's not going to change this much after 60 odd years anyway, so there you go.
Are you shy? Are you shy?
Are you shy?
I think I used to be a little bit. Now, no, I'm just as hard-faced as the rest of them. No, you know, so.
Roag is very shy.
Roag is very shy.
Yeah.
Mais algum comentário, gente? Ou vamos nos encaminhar?
May I ask you a question, please?
Yes, please.
Oh, it's my horse.
Sometimes, or maybe all the time, when you move to the mic, Paul moved to the drums. Is he comfortable with that?
When I moved from the mic to the drum?
Yeah. You went to sing
and then
at the mic, and Paul went
played.
to the drums.
Yeah.
Goes to the drums and stay backing you.
Oh, yeah. Was I comfortable with that?
Is he comfortable with that?
Well, he could have played the drums a bit better, Paul, you know, but apart from that, yeah, it was okay, you know. I didn't do too much singing, so, you know, the numbers I sang, I could hold a note, let's put it that way. But, yeah, we had fun. It was a case of, you know, he gave me the opportunity to get to the front of the stage, shaking me bum, making the girls scream a little bit, and then he'd come back again, and then he'd go to the front of the stage and get the girls to scream at him. So there you go, basically. Simple as.
Tá very much.
Okay.
Vamos encerrar então. Pete, thank you so
Temos que ensaiar
much.
hoje, né? Hoje temos ensaio.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Roag, thank you.
That was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure for me too. Obrigada,
Obrigado.
queridos.
Obrigado
Muito
a
obrigada,
todos.
gente.
Obrigado a todos.
E até amanhã.
Tomorrow night at the Judson Pedro, to everybody there. Okay. We are sold out, I think.
Just before we all go, or I think we're going anyway, I'd just like to say a couple of words. I won't go on about it. But, you know, thank you for coming, you know, attending the press conference. Thank you for the interesting questions you've asked. Some of them I've been able to answer with a lot of candor, some of them have had a little bit tongue-in-cheek. But I hope you've enjoyed the press conference, because I've certainly enjoyed your company being here. And I hope that I see you many, many more times in the future, especially tomorrow night. Okay, thank you, and God bless you.
Ok, obrigado.
Gente, quem quiser tirar foto, por favor, uma fila aqui.
Tudo que vem. Tá, acho que a gente não faz. Não, mas a gente faz por vídeo. Eu gravo aqui.
Camila! Antes, Camila!
Também é um registro que a gente não tem. Foi montada com as condições no geral.
Não, já tá.
Sim. Por isso que eu perguntei.